Well, for more analysis on that attack and the man behind it, I'm joined here in the studio by Asif Arif, who is a lawyer, an author, and a specialist on civic liberties. Thank you very much indeed for coming to see us.
Thank you for
Not
having me.
surprisingly, the French Interior Minister facing some pretty uncomfortable questions. This attacker was, after all, under the nose of the very people who are supposed to detect people like him. How did this not raise any alarms, do you think?
I mean, first of all, we should really understand that he don't have any fiche S. I mean, he don't have any prior record of being radicalized or being visiting some websites. So there were nothing that can put the services into alert. And the second thing that we need to note is that this person was working as a computer guy, actually within this service, and he was not directly intelligence officer or whatever like it. So the problem is not how he. The problem is, of course, how he get radicalized and everything. That can be discussed. But how fast he got radicalized? Because in your report, even they were saying that he got radicalized in just a month or two. So the problem is, the faster he got radicalized, the longer on the long term our response needs to be. And today, the question that should be asked to Christophe Castaner is our politic of integration, of immigration, which is in debate right now, on Muslim, on Islam in France, is properly done to avoid radicalization? This is a core and key question. And I don't think so, because since last couple of months, what we're seeing, what we're facing is massive amount of information on Islam. You can look for Éric Zemmour, Convention à la droite. What he was saying, comparing Islam and Nazism, and we'll let him do. Till the time we will we'll let Éric Zemmour radicalize other people with the with the far right wing ideology, you will always have a counterpart of this ideology. And the problem is we're not covering enough Muslim good deeds. And that's a big problem in France, as I repeat every time. For example, today there is a caliph in France. He is member of the Ahmadiyya Muslim community. He is here for talking about peace. Tomorrow he will be in UNESCO. Who is covering it? Nobody. So the thing is, we need to cover those initiatives. We need to cover more inter-religious dialogue in order to tackle radicalization, because radicalization is an ideology. So the response that we need to find is in Islam. And doing a war against Islam, doing a war against Imam, doing a war against Muslim in this country will not work efficiently against radicalization.
Okay, I mean, going back to the sorts of questions that the Interior Minister has to face and the Interior Ministry has to look into immediately, not in the longer term, but in the very short term, could there be other people out there who would identified as being vulnerable, a bit like this man, a 45-year-old who had some issues, who might have been thought to be easy prey for extremists? Do you think there could be others out there in similarly sensitive positions?
In some similar, well, the police union gave an interview, I think, one day after the attack happened. And what he said something very clear. He said, we need to figure out something against radicalization within the person in this position, because we have 7 cases. So the number is out. I mean, they have very small amount of cases and they need to follow it up. We need to put highlight on it. We need to work on it. But the more bigger problem that Christophe Castaner have to face today is the fact that this guy have no fiche S. So there was no trackable record on this guy on the fact that he will commit any act or he is being radicalized.
He totally slipped through the net.
Yeah.
And how, who might have inspired him? Who might have got to him and told him to carry out such an attack? Or do you believe no one did and he was simply a disturbed individual?
I mean, internet is the best source in order to get radicalized today. The radicalization is a 2.0 radicalization or a 3.0 radicalization if you want to. But the thing is, today, the internet material is so vast and vague that you can use this in order to radicalize yourself at home. And I don't believe that there is an organized structure behind him. I don't believe in that theory, because if there were an organized structure in the behind him, it would take way more time to get through, because he needs contact, he needs funding, he needs arming himself. So he just used the way the way that radicalized people use.
And if this had been a coordinated attack, it would have had a much higher death toll, presumably.
Exactly. That's my opinion. Yes.
Okay, we're going to have to leave it there. We're out of time. Thank you very much indeed, Asif Arif, lawyer, author, and civic liberties expert. Thank you very much indeed.